today's edition of the Solace YouTube channel. We thought we'd start with a description of how Solace came about and the history of Solace. So I'm sitting here, again, I'm Chris Oakman, President and CEO of Solace. I'm sitting here today with Brian Stewart, who's the Vice President of Managed Services at Solace. So Brian, we met in college at Wake Technical Community College, and I cannot remember the class I was having issues with. It was like ones and zeros or something. I can't remember. Do you remember?
No, it was a basic computer.
It was a basic class, but it was like, I don't know. I couldn't catch it. I couldn't fathom the ones and the zeros. And Brian had it, and he explained it to me, and we've kind of been friends ever since. We talked about, so this was 1992?
Two?
Yes, so the fall of 1992. So I've known Brian longer, about 3 months longer than I've been married. But yeah, so we got through Wake Tech. We had a great time in our 2 years there, and we always talked about having our own company. Well, back then it was always going to be a retail company. One of our teachers had a company or something like a retail store. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Vaguely remember that, but yeah, it was mainly just parts and such for
memory, whatever.
Yep,
and
hard drives.
That's what we wanted to own someday, and we talked about it in class, after class or on the weekends, whatever. And that didn't come to fruition, so we went our separate ways. I went to a small services company in Greensboro, and Brian, you went to
a retail store in Charlotte.
So we were pretty far apart, but we still got together and that kind of stuff. And then I got asked by the owner of the company to join him in starting a ISP, a telephone dial-up computer access business, so our internet access. And so, but he needed somebody to take my place, and I recruited Brian. I said, just come up, take a look, see what you think. And Brian came up, and he
reluctantly,
and he took my place. And so we worked together there for a few years. And then we kind of weren't thrilled with the way that company was treating clients, right?
Correct. Yep.
So in the fall of 98.
Yes.
No, 97.
Yep.
Fall of 97, we started meeting for breakfast on our way into work and formulating our plan, right?
Correct.
So, and we were formulating it with three of us.
Yeah, there's three of us.
And we were meeting here in Kernersville on our way to work, because I lived in Kernersville, Brian lived in Winston, and the third gentleman lived in North Winston. So, and we all worked in Greensboro. So it was a good halfway point, and there was a great little restaurant here called the Kerner House, which left a long time ago. They burnt. I can't remember. It burned and then got redone.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of we formulated what's now Solace. Then it was Simple Network Solutions on a just like most stories, on a napkin, and formulated our business plan and that kind of stuff. And we started in January of 98 with already a couple contracts.
Yep.
So, and then, things progressed from there. We started the business on a credit card, which was, thank goodness American Express gave us a credit card. And we started the business on a credit card.
Working out of your garage.
Working out of my garage. And,
yep.
I don't know, the second or third month, we were paying each other
salaries.
Oh, I guess Siri doesn't understand what I'm talking about. We were paying each other salaries, already, and and things kind of progressed from there. I can't remember when we moved, and where was our first office?
Off of Regents Park, down there. Yeah, and it was like October, wasn't it?
So, October of that year.
Yeah.
We rented our first space.
Yep. First real office, and we hired our first employee somewhere in there too. Yeah.
And so then there was 4 of us. So we were growing, and we still have some clients from that time, that early time. There's one client in particular that is nowhere near what they are now, but they basically funded our startup with all the work that they were doing at the time. So it was pretty good. We kind of got too big there, and we moved down the end of the building. This is Century Boulevard, Century Park.
Yep.
And we moved to the other end of the building, and we didn't stay there very long.
No. It was much bigger space, but it wasn't as nice. So
yeah, it wasn't as nice, and we didn't realize it, but we moved to the same side of a firewall as a bar, and so when we started getting complaints from customers that, who's smoking in your office? 'Cause my computer's coming back a smoke, smelling like smoke. We never realized it because we were working in there every day, and of course half our customers smoked back then in their offices too, especially some of our legal and CPA clients. But so we moved to a location behind what was then Cedar Woods Ford.
Yep.
And we stayed there for a little bit, and then there was a downturn of the economy in the mid 2000s, and by this time we had bought out our third partner. It was just Brian and I and 2 employees.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had another employee as well.
And so there was a downturn in the economy in the mid 2000s, and so we also had to do a downturn, or try and save as much money as we could. So we moved into a little tiny 1-room office, downtown Kernersville, upstairs, a long flight of straight up stairs.
That were very narrow.
Very narrow, and a very old building, but that worked out well until the other tenant upstairs moved out, and then we took the whole space, and so that gave us a room to grow, and we stayed there until
2011,
and we at that point
merged.
Microsoft was going places. Brian and I made a decision early on. We had some extra money, and we made a decision early on that we were either going to be a Novell partner. I had my Novell certification, or we were going to go the Microsoft route. And we chose Microsoft, and I think it was the right decision to do at this point, because obviously Novell doesn't exist anymore.
Correct.
So
yep.
We would have to swing anyways. Even though we had a lot of customers on Novell, we kind of, at the time, we were specializing in moving clients from Novell to Windows Server and T and beyond. So that was a good choice. But 2011 was a weird time for us. We were doing well. We were profitable. We had a good group of employees, and we got approached by a friend of ours that when we moved into our first office space, they had moved in next door, and later that year, I guess, and they were a Microsoft partner as well. They specialized in more enterprise clients, so big clients. So like they were doing a little bit of work for Delta Airlines. They were doing some work for, some larger customers across the country, but they didn't understand this small business thing at all. and Microsoft was coming out with their what's now the Office 365 product. Back then it was BPOS, Business Productivity and Office Suite.
Something like
that.
Yep.
And so they approached us, hey, you guys know small business, we know enterprise, let's get together. Microsoft's pushing us. They were a managed Microsoft partner, which means they had a partner rep and all that stuff. And so Brian and I sat down, we talked about it, and we said, okay, and come that October, November,
somewhere in that time frame.
Sometime in that time frame, we joined a company called Eastridge Technology. And that was a good marriage for 5 years, allowed us to grow and turn into a managed services company instead of a
break fix,
which, and what that means is we were able to, put software on client computers that allowed us to monitor them, allowed us to get alerts if there was something wrong. Whereas in our break fix company, we responded to issues. So the client would call in, they already had an issue and we didn't know about it until they called. With managed services.
Yeah. Well, the other thing it did is allow us to do a lot more remote work rather than going out on site 100% of the time.
Yep. We started to be able to fix a lot of on-site stuff, which I'm terrible at remotely, which is why, we have an amazing help desk now. Brian, it's not his favorite thing, so that's why he's our number one on-site tech. And then, we have our amazing help desk. But
yep.
So that's what happened with that's what allowed us to grow that side of the business. And then in 2016, they decided, Eastridge, the enterprise side of Eastridge, decided to sell out and move to another company, merge with another company. They didn't want the small business side of things, the new company, so we took all our clients and our people, and very stressful time for me, and we formed Simple Network Solutions.
No, Solace.
Or, I'm sorry, we formed Solace IT Solutions. And if Josh was in here, Josh is also a partner. How did Josh come up with our name?
He took all of our kids' names and put them into a program and, just using
a word generator. And,
yeah.
And Solace was one of the words that came out from all our kids' names, which I thought was pretty cool, and that's why we're Solace IT Solutions. And so we started that in 2016, and we've had a great ride. We're in a brand new office space that we moved into towards the end of COVID. Our clients are more than welcome to come visit us and see what we have going on here. We have a great help desk team. We have a great project management team, and we're doing some pretty large projects for some of our customers, especially migrating from on-premise servers to SharePoint. We're doing a lot more of that than we've ever done in the past, it seems like, this past year.
Yeah, a lot more cloud integration.
A lot more cloud integration. We've got a lot. We're doing a lot with Azure.
Intra.
Well, Intra is just the AD side of it, but Azure is still Azure. So Microsoft likes to change names all the time. So, and then so right now things are on track and going really well, and we have lots of client praises. We look at your reviews every single week, your ticket reviews, and yeah,
we've also grown our client base quite a bit from just locally here to everybody from everywhere,
yep.
New York to California,
and in between, right?
In between,
so we've got a new client in El Paso, Texas, of all places. We've got Wisconsin and Chicago and New York and A lot of it is thanks to Microsoft. So when we started Solace, the Office 365 suite for small businesses was coming out, and Microsoft was looking for a firm to partner with to provide some white glove installations or migrations from something else to Office 365. So for a long time, we were working directly with a rep at Microsoft and traveling the country doing those things, and outside the country too. Like Josh Salmons, if you didn't know, has been to Tel Aviv, he's been to England, he's been to Vancouver, all speaking on behalf of Microsoft for their Office 365 small business products. So we're very proud of what Josh has been able to accomplish, and we'll do a session with Josh about that as well. So, yeah. Anything you want to add, Brian?
No, it's been 26 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
That we've been in business together, so it's gone by very fast, but it's been a wild and crazy ride, but I've enjoyed every bit of it, and looking forward to many more years.
Yeah.
But it's all thanks to our customers.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
And we have some amazing customers, some really great customers. If there's something you're looking for, some type of service, we probably have a client that does it. So, it's worth asking if a technician is in your office, hey, do you know anybody that does XYZ? And we probably have a client that does it. So we're very diversified in our client base.
Sure. And they range from, 1 and 2 person offices up to offices with hundreds of people and hundreds of employees, and from coast to coast. So yeah, it is a wide diversity.
Yeah, from a small CPA office to a 60,000 square foot manufacturing business. And everything in between. At one point, we've bought scooters just to get around manufacturing plants, so we can run cable or install switches or whatever. So, anyways, yeah. So we're getting down into the weeds, but this video is just kind of to introduce Solace and where we've been, and our future is looking bright for us and our clients as we empower our clients to grow themselves. So, and that's really what we're here for, is to let you guys worry about your business while we worry about your IT. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, look forward to more of these videos. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Comment on our video. We appreciate all of it. So we're just getting started with this video stuff, so hopefully they'll get better in the future, and we'll have a script. I just grabbed Brian walking down the hallway and said, hey, let's go record a video with no script. So I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
See ya. Bye.